Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Molly and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your dog's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. The correction and the motivation that we give the young dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Molly's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly when you come for your follow-up training session. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we would like to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking without pulling or tugging or dragging you. And the command is Molly, heel. Now, at this point, Molly has a job to do, and that is to remain even with your left leg when you're walking, so no more dragging you on walks. And when you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she has been taught to sit automatically to wait for her next command. And the next command that Fred is going to give her is the stay. The sit stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, we do not use her name. The long sit stay when you're practicing at home is going to start out at about 30 seconds, and you're going to work all the way up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her as an additional distraction, returning right back to where they started. And at this point, you have to give her another command because everything starts and stops at heel position. And a lot of these commands you can practice right indoors. You don't have to go out in the heat if you don't want to. Heeling is best practiced outside because you have more room, of course. Okay. Fred leaves her again in another sit stay. He's going to turn to face her and give her time to sit there and have some self-control. This time, instead of returning back to her, Fred's going to demonstrate the come on command. The command is Molly, come. She comes and sits versus jumping all over you. You heard Fred praising her on the way in to let her know, yes, you're a good girl, you're not in trouble. Come and sit nicely and you'll get praised. And we've had some atrociously hot weather, as you're more than well aware, so we have had to keep our training, outdoor training, to, you know, short sessions, but she's done really well. Fred goes out to the end of the leash and he turns to face her, makes her sit there, and again he's going to use the come on command. He praises her as she's coming in and she should sit. It's a little slow, but she did it, and Fred did not have to use any type of correction. Now, the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands, and there are 2 of those. I think they're probably some of the most used commands from my owners because they're very easily put into practical application at home. The first one is the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. The long down stay, when you're practicing at home, you can practice for 1 minute, working all the way up to 5 minutes. And with that kind of long stay, you want to be in the house where it's comfortable. When Fred returns back to her, he's going to return all the way back to her, just like he did on the sit stay, walking around to meet his leash and ending up back where the dog is on his left. And this is what we call drill work, repetitive commands, so that when you need your command, your come, your sit, your down, that she's been drilled and she understands that you're willing to back it up. Another down and stay, she kind of falls over, but that's as down as it could get. Now this time, instead of returning back to her, Fred's going to call her again. The come command is an important command. And she comes in front and sits. I think she's fading, as we all are, in the heat. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is her down from a distance. So Fred's going to have her sit and stay. He's going to turn to face her on the end of his leash. He's going to use his right hand to give the command and drop her into a down from a distance. And that was perfectly done. So we have demonstrated for you all of Molly's formal on-leash obedience commands. Heel, automatic sit, sit, stay, down, down, stay, down from a distance, and come. We're going to be answering all of your questions regarding Molly when you pick her up. She has done a wonderful job here at school and been a pleasure to have, and we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.